AI, 5G cybersecurity, and digital twins are powering the next generation of connected infrastructures, organized by IIT on campus NSBM Green University. The student chapter of IIT on campus NSBM Green University was initiated in May 2025 and has since made a remarkable progress within its first year. The empower engineering undergraduates at NSBM Green University while fostering strong connections within its students and the rest of the global industry. And today we hold the 6th session of the Tech Talk series. Engineering is a field of evolution, of technological advancement and constant transformation. This dynamic field is ever expanding each day, bringing the dawn of a new innovation, and right now, we live in the age of edge and artificial intelligence. 5 years ago, AI was all but fantasy, and now it has integrated itself into our daily lives. Today's technology can create, connect, and reimagine what we once thought to be a fiction. Tomorrow's technology has the potential to bring life to what we know to be a fantasy. Joining us today is our speaker, Engineer Neranjan Dissanayake, founder and managing director of Technology with over 15 years of experience in the fields of technology and cybersecurity. He has obtained a solid foundation in electronic and telecommunication engineering from the University of Moratuwa and has been recognized as a veteran in the Chief Executive Officer at Just in the Group. He also holds the title of President at the Cloud Security Alliance Sri Lanka chapter and is an active member of ISC Colombo chapter and ISACA Sri Lanka. With that information, I would like to invite Engineer Neranjan Dissanayake. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Asani. Good evening, everyone. Let me share the screen first. Yeah. I hope everyone can see the screen.
Yes, sir, we can.
Right. Thank you. Right. Okay. Let me first take this out. Okay. So I think today's topic is a very interesting one, and but I will not go into a lot of technical details. But I want to emphasize on the connected story that these technologies bring to our lives. I mean, if you are in technology and if you are reading technology news and if you are studying various subjects and different fields and areas under technology, so I mean, when you increase your breadth, I mean, you might know about AI, cybersecurity, infrastructure, cloud, IoT, all of these things. And I mean, when you increase your breadth of knowledge, you will understand that this is an integrated story. It's a very beautiful story. I mean, to know how these things connect with each other, how they talk to each other, how we can come up with the various solutions to maybe problems that we see in our everyday lives. So I'm going to narrate that story to you to make you motivated and to make you energized to identify problems that you see around us and to think how you can solve these issues and problems that you see. I mean, this is just a thought-provoking session. So we'll not go into IoT sensors and all these things, also specifications, implementation mechanisms, configurations, a lot of architectural and design things. But let's go through this and let's identify the connected story that these different technology areas would bring. And if you have any questions, just stop me then and there, and please raise the questions, or else if you can, maybe you can put them in the chat, or maybe you can ask the questions at the end as well. Right. Okay, now if we take a hypothetical city, I mean, maybe not a city in Sri Lanka, but city in a developed city, or maybe in certain places in India and maybe other regional Asian countries as well. So if we take a smart city makes autonomous decisions. What's an autonomous decision? That means they can take decisions without human intervention, or at least maybe the human would approve it at maybe one or two given points, but machines or algorithms, these applications can take decisions without our involvement. They can sense things, they can talk to each other, they can analyze things, they can take decisions, and based on these decisions, they can actually take action. They can make other machines or applications work as well. So there are around, let's say, 21 billion connected devices in the world. And now we have 5G, even though Sri Lanka was one of the first countries in Asia to test 5G. The 5G rollout happened only last year, but with 5G, you have a very good reaction time, and it's under 1 millisecond. And that's it's a very interesting fact, because that would contribute to IoT and connected devices and these architectures and designs in a huge way. And also, about data centers, big racks of infrastructure, storage, routers, switches, servers placed in a building, data centers. So we think that a lot of, if we take the entire data out in the internet, we would think that most of the data sits in data centers. But around, let's say, 70 to 80% of data is created outside these data centers through these IoT sensors and other applications. A lot of data is generated. So how are we going to make use of these things? That's the main topic for the today's discussion, right? So if we take IoT or cloud or edge computing or artificial intelligence, or 5G, various these things, these are technology terms, right? So we need to know how these technology terms can be narrated to our real life, right? So what does IoT mean? IoT basically means sensing things. So they have sensors, they can sense things, right? So like if we take our human body, so we have 5 main senses. People say that there's a 6th sense as well, but the things that we see, what we feel, what we taste, what we smell, right? So those things are senses. We feel those things. And so an IoT sensor would basically do that, sense things, maybe heat, could be vision or IR or temperature or humidity or maybe whatever. There are I don't know, maybe hundreds of different IoT sensor types. So they sense things. Then what else? Then connect. So let's say now if you take a community or maybe a house, or if we take 5 sensors in our body, they need to talk to each other. So if they are isolated, nothing can be done. So there should be some kind of an infrastructure layer to connect these things. So in our human body, we have the nervous system, the infrastructure layer. So 5G can be directly mapped to this nervous system or the infrastructure layer that we have. To connect and make the communications happen. Then what else? Acting. So what does acting mean? So based on what we see, we might try to run fast or walk or sit or, senses sense things, and our body will act based on these things. So in the real world also, there are actuators or maybe another applications or machines which can do various actions based on the senses that these IoT sensors would bring in. Then what are other things? Thinking. So our human brain can think. It can analyze things, it can analyze information, and it can think, and it can take decisions. So in this connected world also, now we have the data science layer or the artificial intelligence layer, which can think and which can take various decisions and act. So AI basically means, trying to simulate the human cognitive functions. So what are human cognitive functions? Logical thinking, reasoning, learning, adapting, learning by doing mistakes. So these things are human cognitive functions. So AI is nothing but trying to simulate and trying to mimic this human cognitive functions. So our brain, and we have the AI layer in the technology world. Then what about mirroring, right? So let's say now, what do you do when you sit in front of a mirror, right? So you can see yourself, right? It's very easy for you to, maybe try out a dress or comb your hair or maybe shave your beard or whatever, because you can see yourself, right? So what if you have another version of you, right? Another version of you. Then you can try out various things on that person without actually trying those things out on you. Maybe do some experiments and, maybe drug that person and see what would happen. Or, maybe if you want to try a new food or something, and that person can try out the new food and we can see whether there are certain allergic reactions. So various other things. I mean, like the actual system would not get affected, but that other mirror. So we can do various experimentations on that system without affecting the real system. So now in the technology world, we have digital twins just to do that. So for any physical system, it could be a plant or an engine or a manufacturing, or maybe a factory or warehouse or whatever. So you can actually, maybe a smart city for that sake. I mean, like in certain countries, there are complete digital twins of smart cities even. It's a digital replica. So when you want to do something, you make the change on that digital twin without getting the actual system affected. I mean, like now, so we'll discuss these things. Rolls-Royce has digital twins of their flight engines, right? So you can try out various things on these flight engines to make changes and everything without affecting the real engines, right? Then what? Trust. What does trust mean in this technology field? So you trust people. You can't blindly trust people. I mean, you might get into trouble or there could be various issues. So trust is a mutual thing, right? We create trust based on various things. And let's say if you can't trust a person, you apply certain controls. Like if you have a house, there are CCTVs, there could be door locks or other, or maybe other sensors that you have. There could be a large wall going around the house. And in the earlier times, in these castles and all, there were various layered mechanisms that these water garden. So if you have seen Sigiriya, there are a lot of mechanisms to protect themselves against other people, intruders, right? So in the technology field, so what can be mapped for trust? It's basically cybersecurity, right? Cybersecurity, you can implement firewalls or antivirus systems or various other applications or hardware systems, or maybe some process controls or administrative controls like getting a police report or something. So there are various controls that you can implement in the technology world as well, in the IoT world as well. So trust means cybersecurity. So see how these things work together: sensing, IoT, connecting, the infrastructure layer, connecting everything, 5G, then acting, actuators or other applications acting on these things, the brain, the AI layer, thinking, and digital twins, mirroring, so that you can actually experiment or maybe do certain changes without affecting the real system. And finally, for all these integrated things, how can we achieve trust? Cybersecurity. So these are the main components in this connected story. Right, so in earlier times, in 2010s and all, there were just simple IoT systems. So, you could turn on the AC with your, let's say, a smartphone. And you could turn on a light using your smartphone. Just simple, isolated IoT systems. Then there are, I mean, like from 2000, let's say, 12, 15, up to 2020, 2022, something like, I'm like in a period similar to that. So these devices started talking to each other. There were dashboards, various things. I mean, like, let's say now, simple stories. Now in developed countries, there are systems which can actually know that a person is coming home using Google Maps and all. So that person leaves the office and he comes home. Let's say that the appliances in the house would know that this person is coming to the house. The heater would turn on, or maybe the AC would turn on, and the music might start playing, the lights will turn on, and adjust according to the person's preference. So when that person comes home, everything would be according to his liking, right? These connected systems talking to each other. Now we have actually intelligent infrastructure. So without human intervention, as I explained earlier, they can sense things, decide, act, and do various things. So this is the world where we are living right now, intelligent infrastructure. Right. So I explained these things earlier, but you can see clear differentiations between these layers. So I would probably share the slide deck as well after the session. So you can see 6 clear layers. So what do they actually do? What are the effects for our real life, right? As I said, if we take the bottom layer, sensors, devices, IoT, mapped to our human body, ears, skin, eyes, etc. Then 5G. So what are the advantages of 5G? You have 4G also, you have 3G also. What are the advantages? So there are not only the speed, there are various other advantages as well. We will discuss those things later. Then there's another layer, Edge AI. What's Edge AI? Edge AI means now, so we'll discuss these things, bringing the AI as close as possible to the end device. Could be a laptop, mobile device, a PC, whatever. So bringing the AI layer as close as possible to the human, to the device actually. So it will provide a lot of advantages, which we will discuss at a later slide. Then digital twin layer we discussed. So it's called there's a beautiful name, software shadow. Software shadow. What does a shadow mean? So it works with you, right? If you lose an arm, the shadow will also lose an arm, right? If you spike your hair, then the shadow will also have a spike, right? So it's exactly similar to the shape and size and everything of a human being or any animal for that sake. That's similar to a digital twin. Then autonomous operations, 5th layer, and self-optimizing. That means it can learn by doing mistakes, learn on real data and optimize and adapt and do everything. Then final layer would be the ones that you would actually see: better healthcare, better transport, better power supply, better water supply, improving our lives. So this is the mental model that you should have in your minds about IoT and all these technologies working together. Right. So if you take a real IoT system, how does that work? How does that work? So in the left-hand side, you can see the devices. In the right-hand side, you can see the applications. So the data actually flows from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. The devices these sensors would actually generate data, right? And data would be transferred from devices to the gateways, then through 5G network to Edge AI, then cloud and applications. That's the pattern. So gateway means you aggregate data. So there could be different multiple IoT devices. A gateway would aggregate all the data and it would send the data through the 5G network, or maybe if you don't have 5G, could be 4G, could be 3G, anything. Or maybe it could be wired network, could be a wireless network, could be fiber, anything, any kind of infrastructure. The gateway would aggregate the data and transfer that data through the 5G network to the edge devices, the edge layer. Then edge layer would do certain analytics. Fast AI, we call them quick AI. Not very sophisticated models, not sophisticated analytics, but some quick decisions. So we'll discuss those things later. Then there could be AWS or Azure or maybe SLT cloud or dial-up cloud or whatever, the storage, servers and everything, certain cloud operations, big models, big data models, ML models, and the final application. The final application is what we use. It could be a mobile application, it could be a web application, anything. That's what we see, that's what we use. So data flows from left to right, and decisions and control from right to left. So in the application, we decide that we want to turn on something, and that decision will be transferred from applications to then cloud to then edge to 5G gateway devices the other way, right? So each layer could have their own loopholes. Each layer can fail, and then if one layer fails, then the whole system would be affected, unless otherwise you have high availability mechanisms implemented. So each layer could be a target. So now cybersecurity, there are plenty of cybersecurity attacks which can actually target IoT devices, and so each layer could be a target, and so across these layers, cybersecurity should be applied. So this is the basic structure of a connected IoT network. Right. So I spoke about various IoT sensors, so I'm not going to discuss about those things. I mean, could be image analysis, energy, or heat, humidity, water levels, or maybe thermal. Identifying certain gases, infrastructure, maybe oxygen, nitrogen kind of stuff, or maybe the movement of a system. The noise, the sound, the air quality. So, what are some of the things that you can actually think of? Let's say, I mean, with IoT and all these technologies that we have, it's extremely simple to build something. You can just, let's say now the air quality of Colombo is dropping really fast now. I mean, like even if you are living in Colombo area, so you can feel it in certain days. You can feel it. Now you hear all these noise, all these news about let's say now, what do you call it? This smoke from India coming to Sri Lanka, and we can actually feel it. You see it even in Colombo at the skyline. So what you can do is you can use in basic IoT sensors. You can create small packages. The sensor is there. You can distribute these packages across Colombo. I don't know why it's not happening right now, but you can actually, let's say, maybe 100, 200, 300 small IoT sensors placed around Colombo. They will monitor the air quality, and so that data could be transferred to a central location, and it could be analyzed, and you have a complete map of air quality of Colombo real time. It's not a very expensive thing to do, right? You can actually, it's not a complex thing to do, and so you can monitor these things, and maybe normal general people can access that as well and see how the heat map is, whether the air quality is good. And there are a lot of people with asthma and maybe other lung diseases. So children, they're getting exposed every day, playing grounds and going here and there. So you can actually inform these people or schools or whatever that air quality is not good. I mean, rather than giving a general news alert, if you can actually isolate the high critical areas, it would be really good. I mean, this is a project that even a simple student can do. It's not a very expensive one. So maybe if you get funds, you can try it out as well. So simple example. The same way, there are a lot of day-to-day things that you can simulate in the IoT world, and there are hundreds and thousands of use cases that you can try out. Right. So that's the IoT layer, right? The physical layer, sensing layer. Then what about edge? So as I explained, edge means close to the device. So now let's say now you are a heart patient, right? You are a heart patient, and so there are various sensors that can actually monitor the phase of your heart, your heartbeat, or whatever your pulses and not pulses, like heartbeat, and maybe there are devices that actually take an ECG as well without having these big ECG machines. So now, if that device identifies an irregularity, what should happen? So that device sends information to the central server. It would analyze all these things, and it would send an alert back to this device, and then only the alert gets generated. So that is risky, because if something happens, there's an irregular heartbeat, then that should be alerted to the person then and there. So Apple Watch does that. So that's an example of edge AI, right? And also now you have this vision, autonomous cars. So autonomous cars have multiple cameras, and by analyzing these images and videos, they take decisions. So what if a car, what if a car waits until the central cloud data center takes a decision and tells the car to apply brake? Can't happen, right? If that car senses a danger, the brake should be applied then and there. So that's edge AI, analyzing and taking basic decisions at the car level. But if it's something like
I think you got an introduction about
maybe proactive
myself, what I
maintenance,
have
or
done. So
identifying
I worked in
another
Sri
fault of the
Lanka
car,
for about
maybe something like that, then it can wait. Then you can send those data to the cloud or central brain to be analyzed. That's basically the difference between edge AI and cloud AI. So edge AI actually works offline. That means even without having an internet connection to the backend, it would work. Then it can protect privacy. That means now, let's say now, there's something called PII, personally identifiable information, PII. That means your health records, maybe your finance records, or things like that. If you take a patient, maybe that patient doesn't want to send all of his, live data to a central system. So edge AI can avoid that because it will analyze at the edge level without sending all the data to the backend. So certain data might not leave the device, and it will be analyzed then and there. Then it can save a lot of bandwidth. If you try to transfer all the data to the backend, then bandwidth would be consumed. But edge AI can prevent that because not all the data would be sent to the backend. So if you take cloud, it's completely opposite. There are advantages and disadvantages of all these, and it's a combination. You can't just decide. You can't just depend on cloud or edge. It's a combination. The cloud is good for analyzing large amount of data, taking central decisions, running big AI models like large LLMs, like models from OpenAI or Anthropic or Google or Microsoft or things like that, and learning cross-device learning, finding patterns, doing large analysis, and heavy computing. So heavy computing based on a large number of GPUs and resources, right? Now, let's say, so there are some examples in this study as well. Weather forecasting, you can't do it at the edge level because you need to analyze a lot of data. And let's say if you are analyzing banking transactions for anti-money laundering to identify fraud, you can't do that at the edge level. You need central capacity for that. And also, I'm sure you all watch Netflix.
Good evening,
Then
everyone.
if you take Netflix,
On behalf
so
of
Netflix can
𝐼𝐸𝑇
actually
campus
predict
NSBM,
what you want to
it's
watch
my
next,
pleasure
or
to
maybe you are
deliver
going through a lot of
thanks
reels and
today's session. First
YouTube
of all,
shorts
I
and
would like to
all these
sincerely
things. They
thank
can actually
Mr.
predict
𝐶𝐞𝐫𝐚𝐧𝐼𝐸𝑇
what you want to watch
for
next.
sharing
I
his
mean,
valuable
usually they are
knowledge
very,
and
very accurate,
industrial experience of
but
past
they
industry.
deliberately add noise to these predictions because otherwise people would get scared because we don't want other people to predict our behavior, so we might get scared. Otherwise, they can give 100% accurate results, but they deliberately add some noise to these predictions to kind of like make us feel safe and good. So these computing or analytics can happen only at the cloud layer. Right. So layer 3. So what's good about 5G? Speed, obviously. But why do we need speed? What's the advantage? Now, I'm sure you know about augmented reality and virtual reality. Now, if you want to do something using AR and VR and 4K and 8K videos, so let's say now you are trying to see something in real life. So, and real life, I mean, some certain conditions, let's say maybe some defense applications, so let's say health applications, so mission critical applications, you need to see these videos and real life footage in high definition videos, right? You can't just depend on 720p or maybe all these things. You need high definition videos in 4K and 8K. So 5G can do that. The speed is very, very high, and they can give real immersive experiences for AR and VR. Like you are doing a surgery remotely. The person in America can do a surgery in Sri Lanka. But like, if the reaction time is too high, then the patient might die. And if the surgeon can't see everything in high resolution, then the person might die as well. So 5G enables these things. So reaction time is very, very low. As soon as the surgeon does something, then it will be reflected at the patient end. So speed, reaction time. Another thing is it can handle a lot of devices per square kilometers. So, millions of IoT sensors per square kilometer. The IoT sensors generate a lot of information, and they are streamed back to the data centers and the central brains. So
Thank you.
5G
Have
can
a
handle
great
that.
evening.
And also there's something called
Thank you, everyone.
5G slicing. What is slicing? So I'm sure you know about virtual machines, right? Virtual machines means that within the same computer you can have multiple virtual machines. The same way, 5G slicing means I'm just explaining in very simple words. 5G slicing means for the same network you can have multiple virtual networks on top of each other. So these virtual networks will be like a separate entity, separate network with separate controls, speed limitations, blah blah blah, various applications. 5G slicing, multiple slices within the same network, virtual layers kind of thing. So each of these slices would be fine-tuned for a different job, right? So in 4G, you can't actually do that because everything is running together. But in 5G, you can separate, isolate. That's good for security as well. So that advantage is there. So that's about 5G. 5G facilitates and enhances the things that we can do with IoT layers. Right. So this I already explained. So I will skip the slide. Advantages of 5G. Right. Then layer 4. So what's layer 4? Mirroring. We spoke about mirroring and digital twins. So let's say now you are doing something, and if something goes wrong, there should be a backup, right? There should be, it could be a Word document or Excel document or anything. There should be a backup, right? Otherwise, if something goes wrong, you can't roll out, or you can't roll back, or you can't
I think you got an
recover.
introduction.
So there should be a backup. So, but
Thank you,
if you want to do a change, I mean,
I think you
if you
got an
want to
introduction
experiment
about
certain things, it would be a good idea to have a complete digital replica of a physical system. Let's say now you want to, let's say now you have a brain tumor, right? Now the surgeon want to try out various things without actually trying it out for the first time on the person, right? So what if we can have a digital twin created and a replica of that tumor, and maybe that person can do certain things and see whether they work, right? And the same way, if it's smart city, there are various things, transport, logistics, various controls, and you can, maybe change traffic lanes, how, the buses and cars and other vehicles move, maybe multiple changes, maybe garbage disposing, various things you can try out and see how the smart city would behave, how it would react. Then you can take decisions. So it can simulate futures, what would happen in the future. A future state can be simulated, and we call it running what if scenarios. What if I do that? What if I do this? Trying out various scenarios in real life on a simulated platform, and it will run on actual data, not simulated data. Actual data can be fed to this digital twin, and you can optimize, push certain things, and try out various stuff. So it's all about digital things, and now there are a lot of digital twins in the world for especially in manufacturing, smart cities, and health care and various other aspects. You can do some Google searches and find out about digital twins. So that's that layer. Then
I think you
what
got an
about
introduction
other
about
stuff? Acting layer, right? So what's acting layer? So there are,
I think
so
you got an
we can call them L0, L1, L2, L3, L4. So what does manual mean? Manual mean you do everything manually, right?
Thank you, Yasin.
We
I think
Now
you
in
got an introduction about myself, what I
now
have
let's say
done.
now if there's a security guard, that person sits at the gate and without doing anything, he just monitors people. If someone tries to enter, that person would manually go and stop that person. So all manual work, right? You are reacting. You are not taking proactive decisions. You are reacting you are reacting for an incident. And if you see something failing, then you are going to take some action, maybe trying to correct it or whatever. But it's a reaction. It's not proactive work. And complete manual. Then what's the other layer? You can have maybe some dashboards, alerts. A person can look at multiple dashboards, and that system will generate alerts. Firewalls. Now even your antivirus systems in your computers or laptops. So if you download a virus, it will give you an alert. If you go to a malicious site, it will give you an alert, right? So it's monitoring, and based on that, humans can take decisions and actions. So it will ask you, and let's say now the antivirus will ask whether to remove that file or delete that file or folder, whatever. Then you take some action. So still some level of automation, or not automation, but maybe trying to help us monitor things. Then predictive. So in AI, there are 4 main areas. One is called descriptive analytics. What is descriptive analytics? Descriptive analytics means you are describing a situation. So if you go to meet a doctor, you say, I have fever, I have diarrhea, I have, stomach ache, I have headache. You are explaining the situation, your symptoms and all. So AI can actually describe a situation. So it can analyze data, and in complex data structures, human brains can actually analyze those things at once. You can't just you don't have that capacity. But AI systems can look at vast amounts of data and describe the current situation, the context, right? Sri Lankan human beings are very good at Sri Lankan people are very good at gossiping. So when you meet someone, you ask a lot of questions like, are you married? Do you have children? What's the job that you are doing? What's the salary? Right? Are you happy? Are you sad? Various questions. So you are trying to understand and get an idea about that person, right? Questions like who, what, why, when, where. So these will give you a good understanding. So that's basically descriptive analytics. Then there's something called diagnostic analysis, root cause analysis. That means based on that description, it tries to identify the root cause, the main reason for it to happen. Let's say now when you explain your symptoms to a doctor will do some diagnostics and maybe do some tests as well, and identify the core reason. The reason behind all these things, diagnostic analytics. Then the machine learning algorithms can predict certain things, future, what would happen, forecasting, right? And based on the past data patterns and current data, it will predict the future. Maybe this machine is going to fail. This IoT sensor is going to fail, right? Based on this data, there will be a flood. After the Ditwa flood, there was a big buzz about, trying to identify floods before, implementing systems and controls, taking proactive decisions. But I don't know whether any of those things happen. But if properly done, they will predict, right? Based on past data, it can predict, right? The doctor can tell you that you are going to die. Your arm will have to be removed, or maybe you are going to be okay. Anything, predict in future. Then prescriptive analytics, layer 3, right? System can actually recommend an action. So doctor can give you a prescription, a list of medicine that you need to take to avoid a certain situation. So in same way, the machines can actually prescribe and tell us what we need to do. So now IoT data comes through the 5G network, through edge AI, the cloud system, and AI analyzes everything, and it can predict certain things, forecast certain things, and it will prescribe. To avoid this disastrous situation, you need to do these things, right? Okay, now let's say sewage pumps are now, if you have IoT sensors in the sewage pumps, it will monitor these things and tell us that, okay, these pumps are blocked. And if you don't take these corrective actions, there will be a disaster, something like that. Then also that now up to that level, we have some human approach at the final level. We call it human in the loop. And there's a nice movie in Netflix as well, which is called Human in the Loop. If you want, you can have a look. It explains what human in the loop means. I mean, it's not a technology movie. It's a very simple story, but you can get a good idea. Right? Then self-optimizing. So in that level, no human intervention, fully autonomous. I mean, as of now, fully autonomous systems are kind of dangerous because now we don't have artificial general intelligence. We only have specific AI systems, but we don't want the AI systems to do everything, take all the decisions on their own if it's a critical application. But if it's something simple, maybe, but still we want to have human decisions in most of the applications, human audits, and we call guardrails in the sense like now if you ask ChatGPT how to make a bomb, it will not tell you how to make a bomb because now in the system, at the system level, it has proper guardrails implemented. But in earlier days, when these tools were released, there were a lot of issues. People people telling you that these things are telling what should not be told in the public. We call guardrails. So with proper guardrails and all the controls, maybe we can go for a self-optimizing level as well. Okay, now this thing I already explained, so I'm not going to explain it again, but a different representation of what we already discussed. There's a small video that I want you to watch. Let me. Can you hear the sound of the video?
Hey, everyone.
Can you hear the sound of the video?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the biggest IoT trends of 2025. From lightning-fast decision-making to next-gen connectivity, these innovations are changing everything. So if you want to stay ahead, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Now, let's jump in. AI and IoT are now working together like never before. They break. Less lag, better security, and more reliable performance. AI is no longer just a nice addition to IoT, it's becoming essential for efficiency and automation. IoT needs strong, fast connections, and 5G is leading the way. In 2025, 5G network slicing is allowing businesses to create dedicated networks for mission-critical applications like emergency services and autonomous vehicles. But 5G isn't everywhere yet, which is why satellite internet is stepping in. Companies like Starlink, Amazon Kuiper, and OneWeb are launching low Earth orbit satellites to keep IoT devices connected, even in remote areas. And with multi-carrier technology, devices can switch between networks automatically, ensuring the best connection at all times. IoT devices aren't just getting smarter, they're also getting cheaper and more efficient. In 2025, businesses can deploy more powerful IoT technology without breaking the bank. Here's what's new: 𝐼𝐸 chips. These processors enable real-time data analysis on the device itself, reducing the need for cloud processing. Lower power consumption. IoT devices are now using up to 50% less energy, extending battery life and reducing maintenance costs. Open source innovation. More companies are adopting RISC-V processors, allowing them to build affordable, custom IoT solutions. With these advancements, IoT is becoming more accessible than ever, helping businesses of all sizes harness smart technology. One of the biggest trends this year is digital twins. virtual models of real-world objects that allow businesses to test and optimize operations. These are being used in factories to prevent equipment failures, smart cities to improve traffic flow, hospitals to track and manage medical equipment. With more detailed data, digital twins are becoming a key tool for efficiency and cost reduction. With billions of new devices coming online, security is a top concern. Cyber criminals are targeting unsecured IoT devices, using them to steal data, launch attacks, and disrupt operations. That's why governments worldwide have been rolling out stricter security laws, including the EU Cyber Resilience Act, requiring built-in security for IoT devices. The US Cyber Trust Mark, certifying devices with strong encryption. The UK's IoT security legislation, mandating unique passwords and automatic security updates. To stay ahead, businesses need to prioritize cybersecurity while embracing IoT innovation. This means stronger encryption, better authentication, and AI-powered threat detection. IoT is evolving faster than ever. AI and edge computing are making devices smarter. 5G and satellite networks are keeping them connected everywhere. Digital twins are revolutionizing operations, and stronger security measures are protecting our data. If you want to learn more about smart connectivity solutions, be sure.
Yeah, so that actually summarizes what we spoke already. Yeah, so maybe since we are running out of time, I'll probably skip some slides. But I already explained about the trust layer, the cybersecurity, which is very, very important, and it's a separate track because most IoT devices they don't have that much of processing power. It's very limited. Processing power is very limited. Battery life is limited. It doesn't have a lot of energy within that sensor. And you can't embed a lot of applications or security controls because of these reasons. And they have very small OS with basic security features and all these controls, but you can't do much. And maybe if you find a vulnerability, then updating the IoT device, updating the application, applying patches, these controls is not easy as well. And so due to that, a lot of IoT systems can be attacked. There are multiple attacks worldwide. If you see, taking controls of refrigerators, taking controls of air conditioners, CCTV systems, and taking controls of vehicles. And there's a old video in YouTube. You can find it and watch during one of these hacking events. So one person, there's this small appliance that you can put a chip-like appliance that you can attach to your heart to control the face or rhythm of the heart. So there have been instances where these devices were hacked. There's a real video of a person doing that during a hacking event. So you can take control of these things, right? And you can actually kill a person remotely if you take control. So, and with AI coming in, it expands the attack surface. It expands the exposure. So there are big risks, huge risks happening. And so that's a critical factor that you need to think of when you are deploying IoT devices. It's a separate subject matter altogether. So, so these are some of the examples of cybersecurity attacks worldwide. I mean, there was a small attack. There was I'll explain one of these things. So in Iran, in 2010, you have these nuclear power plants. It runs on these centrifugal systems, and the USA-Israel combination has been trying to infiltrate or compromise these power plants, right? And so they tried various mechanisms. None of these things worked. So what they did was they put a virus in one of these pen drives, and they placed that pen drive in a cafeteria in the floor. So what we do is we see a USB device or whatever lying in the floor. We take it and we try to plug that in, maybe to identify the real owner, or maybe to find out some gossip. I mean, that's the normal human behavior. That person picked up the USB drive and plugged it into a computer. The virus propagated and it attacked a lot of Iranian power plant. It's a fundamental case study which is out there. Simple attack, but took over the complete system. Even though it's a fully secured, controlled environment, that attacker was able to get in using a simple mechanism, right? There are multiple examples like that. One attack have happened in USA for their oil pipeline systems. One person stealing an old VPN password and took over the entire network. Multi-million financial damage to the country. And so because of those reasons, cybersecurity is a must. You need to apply that in proper places, right? Right. So this is something you can find out. Virtual Singapore. In Singapore, they are actually having digital twins for their smart cities. So you can find more information on that. It's a big program there. How they are applying digital twin technology for their smart cities. That's something you can find out. Right. So maybe I'll skip these ones and come to the end. So with all these things, what are the opportunities that you have as students, right? So there are new industries. Now, if we take the traditional agriculture industry, now we have smart agriculture, precision agriculture, technology. If you take traditional health, now we have smart health. You have a lot of renewable energy technologies coming in. Different industries. Now, if you take artificial intelligence, 5 years ago, this prompt engineer job was not, we were not aware of a job called prompt engineer. Now we have multiple jobs for prompt engineers who are paid, let's say, 150K, 200,000 US dollars as salary, prompt engineer. But we were not even aware of those jobs 5 years ago. That job was literally not there. Now new jobs are being generated, and new applications, new industries. The technology landscape is rapidly changing. So you have an opportunity, to identify real life problems and come up with solutions, right? And there's a skill gap. Even in Sri Lanka, there's a huge skill gap in all of these areas I mentioned. So you can tap into those areas and do a good job. Then this one I will skip for the time being. So what's the context in Sri Lanka right now? So since you are students, you will be moving out of universities maybe in the next 2-3 years. And so what would be the context? So now we have 5G. The 5G rollout happened in both Dialog and SLT Mobile last year. We have that. And then we have a good digital transformation plan in the country. I mean, the plan has been there for a long time, but I don't know how well it will be implemented. But people are talking about, central national unique digital ID for the country. With that, all these platforms and applications would connect and talk to each other. And there will be a central national data center, central national data exchange, a super application coming in. A lot of big things being discussed. Then we have Sri Lanka Personal Data Protection Act, which was approved by the Parliament. It was supposed to come into full play 1 or 2 years back, but now it's on hold. But maybe next year it will come into power. Complete Personal Data Protection Act, similar to Europe GDPR, and it will address all the privacy concerns related to our private information. And we have entities placed. Now, a lot of private enterprises are supporting national initiatives. So things are happening. And within the next 2-3 years, it will be good. I mean, now we have all these crises and all, but they will be temporary. So when you move out, you have a real opportunity to grab. So start making the foundations right now. Study these technologies, networking, automation, basic security technologies. Do various certifications. Do certifications in Udemy if you can. Tap into LinkedIn Learning. There are multiple free stuff that you can do without actually spending anything. There are free AWS lab environments, free Azure lab environments, free virtual machines that you can download and practice cybersecurity on. Free internships which will provide you a lot of good information and do certain things. So when you go out, the industry actually doesn't want to see your degree. They want to know what you have done. Build an application, host it somewhere, and maybe ask 10-15 people to start using that application, right? Then you are a builder. Then you have innovated something, and those will add a lot of value to your CV. I mean, when we your degree is important, but a lot of projects and with done, and that person might be better than a person having a first class degree, right? Do hands-on stuff, try out. There are open source platforms that you can use, maybe have a GitHub account, and host a real project there which can speak for you in the industry, participating in hackathons or capture the flag challenges and make relationships with industry people, talk to them, get their insights. There are multiple things that you can actually do. Learn, read blogs, read newspapers, read LinkedIn articles. I mean, don't just limit yourself to the academic stuff that you are going through. That will not add any value, because knowledge is not of any use anymore. Technical jobs will be obsolete. The real ability is to identify problems and solve them. And if you can specialize at least 2 areas, cybersecurity and AI would be a good combination. In earlier days, people learned a lot of things horizontally, breadth, and they specialized one area. We call it T-shaped, but now it's pie-shaped. You have to know a lot of stuff, but at least specialize 2 areas. So decide on the 2 areas that you are going to specialize on and start learning. That would add a lot of value. Build a community, participate in professional organizations, do various things. So these are the real things that will add color to your profile when you move out from university. Right. So since we don't have time, maybe we will not look at this final video, but I'll share the deck with you so you can find the video and watch. So 5 main things that we discussed, key takeaways. We spoke of the connected story, how different things connect with each other, and different applications that we can have, different use cases. We spoke of Edge AI, 5G, infrastructure layer, AI, all these things. And so if you have this connected architecture in mind, that would be sufficient for the day. I mean, if you have this picture in mind, that would be sufficient. So when you see a problem, you can directly apply that design and architecture to solve it, right? Then always be on alert to identify problems, the socio-economic problems, the various other stuff that you see here and there. So those are the real things that you need to think of. Then we spoke of cybersecurity. It's not an add-on; it's a must-have. Whatever you do, even in your final year projects or assignments or whatever, consider on data protection and cybersecurity. That will add value when you present it to someone, right? And so the end objective is not to have technology. The end objective should be to make the lives of people better, right? And finally, Sri Lanka has a good environment right now for these things. There are people who are helping startups, people who are actually investing on startups. A lot of people are coming up with new ideas, and people are ready to fund. People with money, they are ready to fund if you have a good idea. So think of that and try to do something on your own. The industry will definitely help you. If you apply a senior person in the industry with a problem, they will definitely help you out to make it materialize, make it realized. Right. So if you have any further questions, or if you want to connect with me, just scan the QR code here, and this will take you to my LinkedIn page. and you can connect with me through LinkedIn, and you can send messages. If I can help you out, I will help you. If not, if it's not my subject area, I'll make sure that you will be connected with the right people. There are a lot of students who are talking to me on a daily basis. I will help you with anything that I can help with. I mean, yeah, please do connect with me. So if you have any questions, you can ask the questions now. I think I took exactly 1 hour, but maybe we can take 1 or 2 minutes for questions. If you have anything, please shoot.
Hello, sir. So I have a question. So how do engineers ensure the reliability of predictions that made by like digital twins?
Well, it's all about data. So none of these systems would actually work without the right data. So even if you have the most sophisticated algorithm in the world, if you don't train that algorithm well, then you can't rely on it at all. So it's all about data. Now, if you can't find the data, then you can't rely on the output. And the other thing is putting the guardrails, doing lots of testing, and so that's the only way that you can rely. So learning and testing. So I'm sure that you have heard of these, this Jataka story. If there are Buddhists in the class, this Jataka story of 2 parrots, baby parrots. I don't know what you call baby parrots. I just call them baby parrots. 2 baby parrots falling into 2 separate entities. So one parrot fell into a thief's den, the other parrot fell into a monastery, and they started growing up listening to what these people say. The one parrot started talking in filthy language, the other parrot started talking in pleasant language. So it's all about data. What you hear, what you gather, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't feed the right data, then you will get garbage. So that's the only way you can properly fine-tune these machines. Then do lots of testing. I mean, if the training data set is not good, I mean, then maybe if you test for 1 or 2 scenarios, you might be happy. Okay, now this algorithm is giving good input, but you need to cover a large amount of scenarios and use cases. Then only these things can be made reliable. But still, for critical functions, you need a human in the loop. You should not allow machines to take all the critical decisions without having manual human intervention if it's a critical thing. But if it's, let's say, very time limiting, let's say now Tesla is going through automated driving mode, then a man crosses the road and Tesla can't ask the driver whether I should hit the brake or not. That would kill that man. So in certain situations, autonomous decision is good. So it's all about designing, architecting, and achieving the right process. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Since we don't have any other questions, we'll stop here. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating in today's session. Please do connect with me. And thank you, NSBM, for inviting me. I hope you learned about the high-level architecture and design and the structure that you need to follow. And so someone is asking, what does HHIMS stand for? It's a Hospital Health Information Management System. IMS means Information Management System. HH means a Hospital Health Information Management System. Yeah, that was a question in the chat. Yeah, right. Thank you very much, guys. So have a good night. And if you have any questions, just reach out through LinkedIn and shoot out. I will help in any manner that I can. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I am
Good
certain
night.
provided all the attendees with unparalleled insights. I would also like to thank you for taking the time to share your immensely valuable knowledge with us. Thank you everyone for joining our today's Tech Talk. So with our speaker, Engineer Neranjan Dissanayake, to deliver the concluding remarks, I would now like to hand over the session over to Director of Media, IET on Campus, NSBM Green University, Mr. Uveen Pereira. Over to you, Uveen.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of IET on Campus NSBM, it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for today's session. First of all, I would like to sincerely thank Engineer Neranjan Dissanayake for sharing his valuable knowledge and experience with us. Sir, your session on Edge AI, 5G, digital twins, and cybersecurity truly helped us gain a better understanding of the ever-evolving technology of today. We truly appreciate your time and effort in guiding us. Your session was highly informative, engaging, and inspiring for us all. I would also like to thank our MIC, Ms. 𝐍𝐞𝐫𝐚𝐧, and the IET Organizing Committee executive members and volunteers for their dedication and hard working in making this event a success. A special thank you to all the participants for joining us today and for your active engagement throughout the session. Finally, I thank everyone for joining us today and for making this session meaningful and successful. Once again, thank you, sir, and thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.